Now we welcome Natalie Clark, Volunteer Coordinator for Novant Health Brunswick Medical Center. Welcome to the show today, Natalie. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
First of all, let's start by learning about your role at the hospital. What is it that you do at Brunswick Medical Center?
Sure. I am the volunteer coordinator. I assist with the day-to-day activities of the volunteers and with the scheduling and some community events.
Sounds like fun.
It is fun.
Well, good. Now, I understand that you were once a volunteer at the hospital. Is that correct?
That's true. I started volunteering at the old hospital in November of 2008. I started out helping in the gift shop and with medical staff services, and was part of the startup committee for our Compassionate Clothes Closet, and was a recording secretary on our volunteer council for 2 years. And then when we opened our new hospital, I came along and received my position in guest services. Then I started helping with the volunteers on their day-to-day activities and started with the scheduling, and in June of 2013 I accepted the position as the volunteer coordinator.
Wow. It took a little while to get there, but
yes,
I'm sure that you enjoyed your volunteer activities.
Very rewarding.
Yes. I understand that you're in the process of recruiting new volunteers, I believe. And how many volunteers do you currently have?
Currently we have about 150 adult volunteers, about 11 juniors, and 18 chaplains. And we are looking to add more volunteers to our program to assist with some of our current volunteer positions, and looking to add a few more new positions to our schedule.
Well, as you recruit new volunteers, are there specific roles that you're looking to fill?
We are. We have positions in our guest services area.
And that is at the front desk?
Yes, it is. They would greet the people coming, patients, family coming into the hospital, and help them with directions. We also are looking for our gift shop. We have positions in our emergency department where they would help in the back with stocking, and also as greeters, same as guest services, in the lobby areas. In our surgical areas, we have transport, where they help, our volunteers help bring out the same day surgical patients back out to their vehicles. And our surgical wait area, we have our supply and materials department. And we're looking to add some new areas, which one is called the clinical care area volunteer greeter, and we're looking to begin our adult coloring program and pet therapy.
Wow, there's a lot to offer.
Lots going on.
My goodness, I didn't realize there were that many opportunities for volunteers. How about specific requirements? If I wanted to become a volunteer, what might I need to have in my repertoire, so to speak, to become a volunteer?
To become a volunteer, you would just need to pick up an application, and you can do that by calling the hospital at 910-721-1000 and ask for an application, or you're welcome to stop by the hospital and pick up an application. You would just come through the main entrance of the hospital to our guest services desk and ask our operator or volunteers there, and they'd be happy to provide that application to you.
But are there requirements that you must meet in order to become a volunteer?
There are. We ask that for our adult volunteers, you're at least 18 years of age. You have to receive a flu shot. Finally, they would need to attend a new volunteer information session, which is held once a month.
Well, great information, Natalie. I assume that there's a specific training that volunteers are provided prior to starting their jobs. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Each of our volunteers would complete an annual education, which includes information about our hospital and safety processes, and then they would have a one-on-one training in each volunteer area wherever they're assigned or choose to volunteer, and they would be with another volunteer or a staff member until they felt comfortable that they were ready to start on their own.
Oh, so once they are oriented with their partner, which I would assume is a long-term volunteer,
yes,
then they may continue with that for a couple times before they go out on their own, whenever
Sure.
they're comfortable?
Yes, they just let us know when they're ready, and we let them start on their
It
own.
would be less scary like that, to have a partner, have a buddy.
Yes.
I think that would be less scary. Let's talk about working days. How many days are they expected to volunteer, or hours? How does that work?
Sure. Well, typically a volunteer works 1 4-hour shift a week.
Okay.
And some of our volunteers come and work 2 shifts in one day. Some may do 2 or more days a week. And we have weekend positions available. Usually the hours they're 8 a.m. to noon, noon to 4 p.m., or 4 p.m. to 8. We are a little more flexible for some that maybe have large commitments, and we could do train them and cross-train them in areas, and they could fill in as substitutes, or we could do every other week. We'll work with each individual.
So you're real flexible
Yes.
about what hours and what times of day that they come in.
Yes.
Well, that would be good, because oftentimes people who actually have jobs would still like to volunteer.
Yes.
And they might not be able to volunteer during the day, but as you said, you have evening and different hours. So.
Yes. And we have some high school students and college students and employed people that help us volunteer at the hospital as well.
So as long as they're 18 or over?
Yes.
I see. So most students, senior in high school probably, or college, would qualify for that.
That's correct.
Well, we talked about volunteerism previously on the show, and we talked about home volunteers. Let's touch on that a little bit, because I've seen some of their handiwork.
Yes, we have wonderful home volunteers. We have about 50 groups, ranging from individuals to large groups. They make anywhere from baby blankets, quilts, teddy bears, stuffed animals, baby caps, sweaters, booties, and we even have a new home volunteer group called the Brunswick Pink Angels that provide pink bags with comfort items for women that are newly diagnosed with breast cancer. So we're just really proud of all them. We started in 2013 providing a tea for these home volunteers that has a lunch and tea, and we provide supplies that they could use to make their items at home and to give back to our patients. And then if anyone was interested in becoming a home volunteer, they could just call me at 910-721-1493, or Deborah Rochelle, the manager of volunteer services, at 910-721-1484.
So in order to be a home volunteer, it's really not necessary for them to come into the hospital or work certain hours. They do it at their leisure at home?
That's correct.
Well, that's really nice.
It is
I think
nice.
that would be a great opportunity for those ladies or men who make things that would be distributed throughout the hospital. That sounds awesome. Let's talk about what's coming up. Do you have any events coming up?
We sure do. Are we speaking of fundraisers?
Yeah.
And we have our fundraisers range anywhere from our uniform sales, shoe sales, but our favorite is the Masquerade Jewelry Sale, which is coming up November 23rd and 24th. And that's a Monday and a Tuesday. And the hours on Monday are 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And on Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And everyone just loves this sale. Everything is $5.
I do too.
They have jewelry and watches and scarves and clothing and bags and purses and everything. So maybe you can stop by and pick up a couple items for yourself, or maybe some stocking stuffers.
That sounds great. I love that sale. Well, this has been wonderful information today. It's been a pleasure to have you. And I look forward to having you guys back, and we'll talk some more about volunteering at Brunswick Medical Center.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.